My engagement to Rhett Prescott, the Crown Prince of Atherton's old money, was decided when we were children. As children, I had treated it like a game of control, meticulously managing his every move. Whenever I pushed too far, he always warned me the same way. Sloane Callahan. One day, I'll end this engagement, and you'll be the one left with a mess. Then came the truth that shattered everything. I wasn't the heiress I'd been raised to believe. In that instant, I shrank into the background, letting go of control. I stopped questioning his business dealings, stopped insisting we maintain appearances, and for 2 weeks I stayed silent. Most expected him to celebrate his newfound freedom, but when Rhett learned I'd withdrawn, his reaction was explosive. Mind your own business, he had roared. This is what you wanted, isn't it? Now she's got someone else's collar to hold. The Atherton Club was alive with music and chatter, but all I heard was Harper's voice. Sloane, Rhett's up to trouble again. Pierce in the usual trust fund crowd. I barely looked at her as she handed me my phone. On the screen, Rhett leaned against a black Aston Martin, shirt crimson silk, cigarettes moldering between his fingers, flanked by the usual crowd of beautiful, careless friends. I studied the scene, then handed the phone back. Let him be, I said. Harper's eyes narrowed. Are you sick? The real Sloane would already be storming that place. I smirked faintly. Remember the 6th grade dance? You dyed your hair green by accident. If you survive that, I can survive a few idiots. Grabbing my clutch, I left. Her worry didn't surprise me. For years, I had ruled Rhett's world with a strict hand monitoring, policing, and enforcing rules. But now, with my position unraveling, I wasn't sure I had that right anymore. 3 days ago, I learned that I had been switched at birth. The Callanans were my real family, and soon their true daughter would claim the life I had been living. I had leveraged my status as a Callahan and as Rhett's fiancé for influence and power. And now, enemies were waiting for my fall, especially Rhett. Our engagement rules had been no reckless behavior with his friends, be home before midnight, maintain public appearances at least 3 times a week. Whenever I enforced them, he threatened to end us. I never thought he'd follow through, but with the truth about my identity, I couldn't rely on past protections. I had to step back, stop controlling him, or risk humiliation when the world discovered the truth. I went home early, hoping to avoid confrontation, but he was already there. Our eyes met. Guilt flickered across his face, but he held my gaze. Sloane, I was out with Pierce. In the guise, he said, voice loud enough to pierce the quiet. Yes, I drank. Yes, I smoked. I didn't argue. I gave a neutral nod and walked toward my room. Sloane Callahan. He stepped forward, gripping my wrist. Did you hear me? I heard you, I said flatly. If it makes you happy. Fine, he smirked, trying to regain control. All right, Sloane, I know you're upset. I should have walked you to the gala last week. You've barely spoken to me these past days. I tried to respond, but he continued. Tonight, you get to call the shots. Then, shockingly, he began unbuttoning his shirt, his strong, well-defined body on display. He took my hand, pressing it against his chest, then quickly looked away, ears pink. Consider yourself lucky, he murmured. You can do as you like tonight. I glanced at my phone. One of our mandatory appearances rule 3 nights was tonight. Usually, I lead the way, but tonight, Rhett was dangerously proactive. Rhett, I'm not in a mood, I said, then spun and dashed to my room, leaving him behind. I woke the next afternoon to an unusual quiet. Rhett hadn't gone out. He was stretched across the living room sofa, phone in hand, exuding lazy indifference. When I stepped out, he snapped the phone shut and spoke casually, almost too casually. Sloane, you said all your clothes were out of season. I've got free time today. Want to go into the city to shop? No thanks. I have plans with Harper, I replied, brushing him off. Rhett's brow furrowed. He sprang up, gripping my wrist lightly. How long are you going to hold this grudge? I'm offering an olive branch. Or are you saving it to use against me with my grandfather? Ah, so that explained his odd behavior. He assumed I was scheming. I'd done that plenty before. Relax, Rhett, I won't.